Hey guys, I'm releasing a series called Bold Statements. It's 30 days. Every day you have an affirmation and a scripture. I feel like these help me, and so they might help you. You're broken, but you're not done. I once preached a sermon at the age of 14 at my local church at the time. The funny part about that sermon is I had just begun experiencing what would go on to define most of my adulthood. It's called depression. And I was suffering from it, and it sucked. And at the time, wasn't getting the proper help that I needed, and was getting into experimentation with drugs and alcohol. And on top of that, I was an atheist. And that being said, the irony of the youth leaders at the time to ask an atheist or a non-believer, I would more or less consider myself agnostic at that point. I was somewhere between atheist and agnostic. But the irony was that I preached this sermon called Get Back Up. And little did I know that that statement would go on to define my preteen, teen, and early adult years. I've constantly fought to get back up. I lose faith every other day. I scream at God every other day. I ask why every other day. One day I'm full of faith, on top of the world. Jesus can do anything. I love him. It's beautiful. And I have a purpose, and I have a reason for being, and a life to live. The next day, what the heck is the point? What is it? Why? Why, God? And the reality of it is there are parts of me from my experiences as not only a child, but as an adult, and a long way through the line of my life, that have left me very broken. And I constantly have to choose to fight that and say, okay, I'm not a perfect person. I'm a sinner. And I excuse a lot of my sin and a lot of my issues, and I hide a lot of it. And I fight hiding a lot of it. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to keep trying my damnedest, excuse my language, to keep going. You're never going to have it all together. You're never going to have all the language out your mouth. It's always going to be in your head. You may quit smoking weed. You may quit drinking. You may quit smoking cigarettes, but you're never not going to have that little voice in the back of your head on certain days that's like, man, I really just want to go get high. Because it would take everything away. But the part that I wrestle with, but also the beauty in it, is that brokenness, those issues and those problems that you're working through and trying to address and doing it the right way, maybe for the first time in your life, does not disqualify you. God knew who you were going to be. And he knew you had choices to make. and decisions that were going to destroy you. But he had grace enough to die and say, I still have purpose for that one. That one matters. That one right there. The one looking at this camera and the one who's watching this on their phone on YouTube. That one matters. You're broken, but you're not done. Being broken doesn't end your story, ever, unless you choose to stay there. It makes it more real. It makes it more human. It makes you realize that everybody struggles. Pain sucks. It's part of life. Everybody wants to escape it. Pain sucks. It's part of life. When I was writing this, scripture kind of came through as I was writing this whole thing. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. Isaiah 42:3. God will use you in all of your brokenness, in all of your mess, in all of your disqualifications, and all of this stuff that you don't think he's going to use. He'll sit there and be like, this experience, this situation, nah, dog, I got you. Because I saw this coming. You had a choice, but you chose, and now I see the outcome of that choice. And I'm still going to restore you. And that is why you're broken. And that's okay. But you're not done. You're not done until he says you're done.